Good morning. Please be seated. Was joking this morning that with a new deacon, of course, his first Sunday getting to read the gospel among us, we chose to give him the longest gospel in the lectionary text. And there it is, the Samaritan woman at the well. Friends, we're going to start actually with a question or complaint, really, that we find in the first reading that was read by Meredith from the book of Exodus. Moses names this place Meribah and Massah for the peoples, the Israelites, complaining and calls it, "Is the Lord among us or not? Is the Lord among us or not?" The Israelites are wandering in the desert. They're thirsty, they're afraid, they're tired, and they ask a question that human beings have asked every generation since. And I think the question that lies at the heart of all of our questions about existence, really, and self and God, is the Lord among us or not? Just want an answer so we know how to move forward, right? This question doesn't only belong to the Israelites, it belongs to all of us, especially in moments of uncertainty, in moments of loss, in moments when life feels dry or difficult, in moments of war and violence and turbulence. The same question rises in the human heart: is the Lord among us or not? Have I said it enough times that it is now stuck in your head? That is the hope. That is the hope. All right, so keep that up in your head. Now I'm going to tell you a story. I was reminded this week of a beautiful story, and hopefully some of you know this. Daniel was the only one at the 8 o'clock who knew this story. Some of you know that I'm a huge fan of Fred Rogers. May he rest in peace, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And there was this wonderful episode where Fred had a young boy of age of 10 with a spinal cord injury in an electric wheelchair named Jeff Erlanger. Does anybody know of which episode I speak? Do we have some couple? Okay. Right, Daniel's. All right, Marilyn, thank you. All right. You always get homework. This is your homework. When we leave this place, you're going to go home. You're going to Google Mr. Rogers and either Jeff or, young boy in wheelchair. Something along those lines. And it's going to come up and you're going to watch it, okay? At some point, when he was about 5, Mr. Rogers had met young Jeff. It was Jeff's greatest wish before going into a surgery that he might not have come out of, that he would get to meet Mr. Rogers, who was very important to him. And so Fred met him, and then a few years later, about 5 years later, he and his producers were putting together a couple of episodes, of kind of a theme of episodes that were all about how to live with and through and in suffering that just doesn't go away, right? So children who were children of divorced parents who were never going to get back together, children who had disabilities that were just never going to be made right. It was kind of a whole series, and this was the primary show. Now, it's hard to tell you about this if you have never seen this. So can you track me for a second, Cam? Imagine this. You all have Fred Rogers in your mind. This young man is sitting, Evan, you're going to be Jeff, in a wheelchair, and Fred the whole time comes out of his house and gets down on one knee and just looks at this young man and starts having this beautiful conversation. He starts with the obvious, right? Tell me about why you're in this chair, right? All of these things. But as you watch, the gaze between these two is just something that I can't describe to you. You have to see. And they have a good conversation. They talk about life, the things that you might talk about with a 10-year-old boy, any 10-year-old boy. And as they're having the conversation, towards the end, Fred says, "I'd like to sing a song with you. Would you sing a song with me?" And the boy says, "Okay." Now he's watched, right? And it would be nice if the song for most of us was "It's a Beautiful Day in Your Neighborhood," because you already know that song. How many of you know Fred's song, "It's You I Like"? The choir knows "It's You I Like." Come on, friends, you have to do better. No, just kidding. I'm not going to sing it for you because, like all of Mr. Rogers' songs, they're just kind of hard to sing if you're not Fred Rogers. But I'm going to tell you the lyrics. It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair, but it's you I like. The way you are right now, the way down deep inside you, not the things that hide you, not your toys, they're just beside you, but it's you I like. Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you I like. Do you get the point of the song? It's you. After they were done filming, Fred caught everyone off guard, including this young boy, when he turned and looked at him and said, "Would you pray for me?" Fred Rogers, Presbyterian minister, star of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, looked at a 10-year-old boy and asked the boy to pray for him. The boy, being stunned, but a 10-year-old boy, said, yes, I will. No one, friends, had ever asked, according to his parents later, no one had ever asked, to their knowledge, their child to do something for them. They always felt like they had to do something for Jeff, right? All of his life, he had been the object of people's care, of people's prayers, of people's pity, but never had someone asked him to give them something. And here is Mr. Rogers asking him for prayer. Later on, his parents were interviewed, and his mother said Fred Rogers had an impact on who Jeff became. His whole sense of self seemed to blossom in that moment. You can learn more about what Jeff did with his 37 years on this earth, but it's pretty profound. And both he and his parents pointed back to this moment with Fred Rogers, where he was not only seen and loved, just you I like, but then asked to do something. When Jesus meets the Samaritan woman at the well, he does not begin by chastising. He does not begin by teaching. He does not begin by doing anything, right? Or giving her something. He begins by asking for her for something. So simple. "Give me a drink," he says. Now, I would like to think that John, the gospeler, right, forgot to add please to that, and that Jesus didn't forget to add please, but, right? "Please, oh fair one, give me a drink." Something a little bit nicer, but, right, the ask. It's the ask. It's such a simple request that we might actually miss, and I think we always do when we read and teach about and preach about this story, this extraordinary moment of Jesus seeing her and asking her for a drink. He approaches her from below, right? Not from above. We know the power dynamic. He's a man, she's a woman. He's a Jew, she's a Samaritan. He's a rabbi, she's a woman who has had 5 husbands. Now, we don't know why she had 5 husbands. There are all sorts of reasons why she could, right? But most of the time, because we always want to know more, right? So that we can pass judgment, because we like to be God instead of searching and looking for God. We want to know, like, what's at play here? Why did she have 5 husbands? Why was she there at noon? Why was she there by herself? And we get all sorts of caught up in all of these little details, and we forget the simple message that Jesus was at the well when she showed up, and he simply saw her, knew everything about her, as he goes on to show, and said, "Hey, could you give me a cup of water?" What Jesus does with her is something deeply beautiful. He sees her whole story, and he stays. Don't we all, right, long for that kind of encounter? Excuse me. Someone who can know our real story, all of our complicated parts, all of our painful parts, the things that we prefer to hide and stuff under the bed when company comes, right? Somebody that knows all of that and doesn't pull away, just enters into conversation and sees us for all of the things. That, friends, is what's happening here. Jesus knows her life. He speaks truthfully. But there is no humiliation, no condemnation, no talking down, only an invitation. The answer to the question, is the Lord among us or not, rests right here, friends. We call it divine foolishness of grace. God's grace rarely, if ever, makes sense by our human standards. God does not wait for perfect people. And say that again. God does not wait for perfect people. God meets people. God meets us where we are. Again and again in all the Gospels, we see Jesus doing all the things, right? Sitting with outsiders, eating with tax collectors, hanging out with prostitutes, welcoming people that nobody else wanted around, right? And here he meets this woman in the middle of an ordinary day, and he offers her, after asking for her water, his living water. It is not something that she earned. It is a gift. Is the Lord really among us? Now, friends, this is where I've come to this week. Maybe, just maybe, this is what Lent is really about, right? We twist and turn ourselves into pretzels, doing all the things to try to make us better, more perfect for God in this period. And what if the self-reflection in this time of reconciliation and turning is far more about simply turning to find and recall where God actually is and who God actually is? Not proving ourselves worthy of God, but allowing God, by allowing Jesus to meet us at the well of our own lives, where he says to each of us, I know you. I got you. The whole, like all of it, even the stuff under the bed, especially the stuff under the bed. And I'm still here, and I still want you, and I still want to eat and drink with you. And when and if we discover that, that's when the living water begins to flow. Like Jeff, that's when we find our sense of purpose into our lives, into our thirst and hunger, into every place we thought that God would never show up. Because the truth, friends, at the heart of the gospel is so simple. God is not waiting for perfect people. God's just sitting at the well, just waiting for us to show up, singing a little song that probably sounds an awful lot like It's you, Ivy.